What is the best way to move abroad fast? Wait before you attempt these 4 things. The biggest mistake people make when moving abroad is they're trying to do too much. Yep, you heard it right. So let's take a look at them. The first one is you're worried about citizenship. And I get it, because you're a citizen in the country that you're coming from. So the most obvious thing to do is to become a citizen in your target country, wherever that may be, where you're trying to go. And that's not a one-for-one kind of a thing. For example, if your goal is to exit where you are quickly, you don't need to worry about getting or obtaining citizenship in your target area. The reason why is because citizenship may come with certain things that you don't even want to have to deal with. One of them might be certain tax requirements. They might be voting. Also, citizenship may take 5, 10, maybe even 20 years. Who knows how long and at what cost to obtain it. If your goal is to move out first and fast, put that on the back burner and deal with it later on. Also, please consider this. Many folks don't even stay in their first country. We didn't even stay in our first country. And how many of us have ever changed our mind about something? You may be in the country that you've targeted, but lo and behold, as you're living life in that country, you decide, nah, this just isn't for me. What if the laws with regards to residency, citizenship, whatever change? That's something to consider. And also tacked onto that business of you being worried about citizenship is getting a second passport. Is that really your highest priority now? Or is it to simply be able to escape and get started on moving abroad? Because if it is, you can wait. With regard to a passport, and obtaining a second passport is a nice thing, a third passport, all that kind of stuff. But maybe it's not the best thing at this particular stage if your goal is to get out fast. Does a passport even contribute to that? No, it's just an extra thing to think about. You can worry about that a little bit later on. What's the order? Work on getting out. Work on getting that visa first. Then move toward residence or whatever kind of permit that they have that allows you to remain in the country without needing to exit every 90 or 180 days or what have you. It gives you a chance to work within their system, to learn how it works, to understand the vibe of the country, but more importantly, their laws and their processes, their procedures. And so therefore you begin to establish yourself. So there you have it. Number 2. A lot of people talk to us and we work with people in workshops, one-on-one consultations, all this kind of stuff, multitudes of people, right? And one of the first things that pops up besides citizenship is number 2, which is you want to purchase a house. So I get that too. You probably have a house that that the bank owns right now that you consider yours, and therefore you got to have a place to live. And so you think automatically that you've got to have a house. Well, that's going to slow you down. If you really want to exit quickly, you want to exit fast, then worry about that later on. Hey, there's even some biblical advice on that. And I don't know if a lot of people pay attention to it and see it. It's there in Proverbs, and it talks about establishing your work without, make it fit for you in the field. After that, build your house. Yeah, I know they lived in an agricultural environment, and we do not necessarily at this point in time. However, the wisdom is still good, and that is make sure that the country you're moving to, the area in the country you're moving to, can sustain you. You can have that sustainable income first. Then you can focus on a house purchase or building a house or buying land if that's your thing. I'm sure in the old days, what they might have done, I'm just guessing, is let's say that you had some land that you purchased back in agricultural times, and you had decided what crops you were going to plant. And let's say you were going to do soybean. And so you plant soybean, but then you learn that the soil is not the best for that. Maybe it would have been better for corn or wheat. And so you have to shift. And so what you want to do, though, what the individual is trying to do is ensure that the land can sustain them, which is how they're going to make their money, how they're going to feed their family, all that good kind of stuff. Then they're going to take some bricks and build their house. We rush to make something permanent when really it may just be a temporary thing or seasonal. Don't rush to make something permanent, and don't project what you have now to where you're going necessarily. So when you want to prove your work, then build your house. Have you taken time to really peruse and research the ownership laws? Do you understand their land requirements? Can you even own land? Is it in certain sections only that you can learn land? What about a land survey? What about once you've purchased the land? Did it go through the proper channels? Was it all the other people who needed to be notified, who supposedly own the land? Were they in agreement with the sale that has been made to you? What does the developer say that they're going to provide you? And have they done it before in the past? Not once, but more than twice. So those kinds of things are what you want to think about. Here's a solution. What if you rent first? You get to understand the lay of the land, and that way you understand what's in the environment, where you really want to be, what amenities you want to have. You get to interact with folks who are local. You get to find out where the grocery stores are. You get used to transportation coming and going. And so it works out well. It's a win-win. Look at renting first. Time for number 3. And this one's huge because we all want to make lots of money, and it's you want to start a business, boom, just like that. You're just rushing around. And I think it's possibly because we come, if you're from America, Canada, UK, and the West, as I talk to people from those areas, we all kind of have one thing in common. We're kind of go, A-type people. We want to get things done. In a day, we're going to make 3-4 stops to take care of this, that, and the other thing. Okay, whoa. Slow down. Okay, you're doing too much. Because when it comes to starting a business, what I've noticed is that people have this rose-colored glass effect on their lenses, on their glasses. And so they get all excited about some import, export, or some kind of business, and they really haven't researched it. Let's go back. Let's go back to basic business principles. Have you truly identified a real business problem? Because a lot of times people just have a good idea, or it's something they're good at. The purpose of business is to solve business problems. Let me break it down for you. Okay, so my mother was actually a janitor for many years, okay? And I love her and respect her. And you know what? As a janitor, she solved a business problem. That would be they did not want dirt in the school system where she worked around all these children, all these young people. And so that was a real business problem. But she didn't just pop up and start selling pies to them, because I don't think that would have gone over for her to get her pension and work 20, 30 something years doing that. She solved a real business problem. Next thing, even if it is a business problem, how many others have agreed with you that it is a problem? In other words, you've got to have enough people who say, we agree with you that yes, this thing is a problem that I have, and I'm interested in your solution. Because it is possible, I'm splitting hairs here, but it is possible for you not to just sell pies. You say, I'm gonna go beyond that. I see a problem here. The problem is X, and I'm going to develop a solution for that and sell it. But the other people haven't agreed with you that that was a problem. The next thing is, just because a lot of people agree with you that it is a problem. Are they willing to exchange their money for your solution to the problem? Because believe it or not, step 3 is you could identify a problem. You could get a large mass of people agree with you that it is a problem. However, they may not indicate, and the way they indicate is they vote. You know how they vote? They vote with their money that they give you in exchange for your solution. They might say, yeah, it's a problem, but I'm able to put up with it. I totally agree with you that it's a problem. I'm not giving you money for that. And so what I see as I interact with expats and watch what other people do and so forth is that people are finding themselves in situations financially that are rough and tough because they haven't followed those basic business things, which I've just listed for you. Do little things, okay? Do research, like to find out, is there a niche for this thing? Is there a target market for this? And again, are people willing to voluntarily give you their money for your solution to their problem? So consider this. All right, if you want to move out fast and get going, you probably already started a business or a side hustle. Get something going before you move. Think about making your business worldwide. In other words, so it's not limited geographically. That's so much easier to do these days. Again, get it up and running before you're exiting, or at least do your research and work with those who understand business development where you're going. Many countries have a business development facility or program that is there for you. Just tap into that. But don't try to get all this done. Don't confuse that with that contaminating your desire to move out if you're trying to move out quickly. That's what the emphasis is here. If you're trying to move out quickly. All right, time for number 4. Number 4 is you want to help the locals, and everybody wants to be helpful, right? So be careful with this one because we'll tend to have this savior complex or something like that. Ask yourself this: did they ask for your help? And are you sure that you're solving the right problem? Because what I found before I retired in my work life is that you get a bunch of smart people around the table, and I believe you are a smart person. And one of the things they tend to do is they rush to solve problems instead of, I believe Albert Einstein is the one who said this, if he had 1 hour to solve a problem, he would spend 55 of those minutes researching, analyzing, to make sure that he's going to be presenting a solution or solving the right problem. So many times we solve the wrong problem. And so what I'm saying is, have you thought about the fact that there is something that the local population has to give you? And maybe you be ready to receive that, okay? And think about your interaction with them. So it's commendable that you want to rush from wherever you are to try to go somewhere to help others. However, just make sure they've invited you to do that. And you can find out by asking them. Don't make that one of the things that contaminates your process if you're trying to exit America fast. These are things that slow people down. Here's an antidote for that. Find someone, a partner, or whatever you can cooperate with. Maybe something that's already established, but don't try to do that on the front end. Wait some time. I don't know what time is, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, probably longer, to get yourself ingrained in the culture to figure out how you fit in. All right. Now, if you're serious about moving abroad versus just talking about it, then visit our link for our stand store below and you can take advantage of one of our offerings.